Hello, welcome, three Pleiadian sisters here.
Hello, thank you for coming. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our wood house, our tree house.
Yes, thank you for committing this space to be a sanctuary for earth beings and other interstellar races.
Yes, they are certainly welcome. We are very grateful that they come.
And there are many woodland fairies about this property as well. Yes, there are conglomerations and assemblies of beings at this location, and there will continue to be cloaking technologies used in order to provide safety for the comings and goings and anonymity for the comings and goings of various beings here. And this location is preferable because of its isolation.
Well, it would be wonderful if one day you didn't need a cloaking device. We could see them, they could come and go.
Well, this device is not so much for your benefit as it is to provide some anonymity for these beings from other interstellar races who would like to impede or thwart the progress and elevation of higher dimensional beings' work.
I see. Okay. If there's anything we can do, put salt in four corners, I don't know, smudge the place, crystals, anything specific like that that could help, we're open to it. We're happy to oblige.
Well, some of the more negative entities that would try to impede our work really has no particular interest in this area.
Good.
And the nature and landscape provides its own higher vibrational frequency. This vessel has been writing about raising frequencies and about nature today, and we showed her the bumblebee and the hummingbird. These two beings have enormous life force chi running through their very small bodies. Life force energy at an extremely high oscillation, and these are examples of the high vibrational frequencies which are inherent to nature. And so nature is a very simple, fast track way to accelerate your vibrational frequency and renew and restore your life force, elevate your life force energy. And beings of more negative intention really do not care for this sort of environment. This would be similar to, for example, a human being of higher light and elevation might enjoy spending time in an art gallery, whereas one of a lower vibration might enjoy hanging out at a seedy bar.
Yes.
So there, in the illustration, we are just mentioning that locations such as this one provide much of the higher vibrational atmosphere needed for the sort of work that you're doing without much effort. Salt and sage, these are fine practices. Perhaps best used for trips to other locations such as hotels or places where there is a lot of human traffic.
Is royal jelly yeah, it comes from beehives. It's food for the queen bee. Is that something that raises humans' vibrations?
Yes, certainly. And honey from natural local sources. Indeed, if humans ate natural sugars such as these, there would be no such disease as diabetes. This disease has evolved from tampering with sugars, engineering sugars.
Are there other planets in right now that the Pleiades are helping to help them evolve?
Yes, absolutely.
Approximately how many?
Around 300 different civilizations that we assist.
So there's some that are farther ahead than us and some that are farther behind us.
Yes, that is correct. Well, we are not currently assisting any races of a lower vibrational frequency than yours.
Well, that's sad that we're the lowest.
Well, we think of it more as the youngest rather than the lowest.
Yeah. Because they're going to keep being born anyway, no matter, it's not like a limited number of them. If every one of those, however many there were, there would still be created more and more and more at a lower vibration that would be working on ascending.
We're not sure of your question, but when we think of you as being the younger of the species, we don't think of your vibrational state as being a fault or a difficulty, simply just aligned with your maturation, your stage of maturation and evolution.
Okay, I get them. Let me try again. So what I'm thinking is that there are constantly new planets coming into existence of a lower vibration. So it's not like if all the ones you're working on all reach higher levels, there will still be new ones. There'll constantly be other ones to work with.
Well, we wouldn't say that there are new civilizations frequently appearing.
Oh.
There are planets in evolution that become more adaptable and ready for occupancy based on various factors of change and creation in various universes.
So where do the beings that are going to fill in the occupancy come to for that? Where do they come from? Other planets?
Well, there are times where various civilizations expire because the location in which those species dwells becomes uninhabitable for one reason or another, or there may be resistance or war or other reasons why they can no longer inhabit a particular area, and so sometimes those species migrate to new planetary locations. And the Godhead, or the source of universal consciousness, can split off in as many fractal representations of itself as it chooses. And so there can be new beings, new expressions, new souls that separate or individuate from their oversoul. But all beings are evolving towards wholeness and oneness and light. So we would not say that there are beings that are becoming more wicked or evil or misaligned. But there are what you might consider opposing forces, which are an attempt at creating balance within all things.
Okay, so the universe or galaxy or the everything that is expanding, and then from what I understand, at some point it will contract and then expand and contract, like the way we breathe. So what dictates when it stops expanding and starts to contract? What causes the change?
Well, it's very natural process, just like breathing. Your being, the soul that you are, does not command your being to breathe in and breathe out. It is a natural function of being, a natural function of your body, and the contraction and expansion of the universe is very natural in this same way and intuitive, and it is guided by source energy, and it needs no command or time stamp or directive. It simply does what it does.
Okay. But that's different than us breathing, because we breathe into our lungs are full and then we exhale till our lungs are empty, back and forth.
Well, no, it is not different. It is the same. It is a natural function.
Oh.
It does not have to be directed by your being.
So does that mean that this goes on infinitely, that it always expands to the certain amount and then contracts to a certain place and then expands to the same amount, or is it different each time?
It is simply and natural and involuntary movement of life force energy.
Okay. But it doesn't expand and then contract. It doesn't expand to the same amount every time it's an expansion. It can be different, expand to different levels each time.
Yes.
Okay. So, what is a higher self? That's different than the soul, is it not? And what is it?
Well, the words mean different things to different people.
Mm-hmm.
When this vessel is speaking, the two mean the same to her.
Mm.
But different people have different understandings. But from our perspective, souls are eternal. They are the part of each being, whatever that being may be, the part which is its life force energy, which is eternal, never dies and exists forever, and is representative of Source, is a part of Source. And so all souls together represent all of consciousness, all of universal consciousness. So the term higher self comes from the concept that you who you are as a self is your body, is your thoughts, is your emotions, and all of your body, thoughts, and emotions are empowered by or given life, or the definition of being alive, by your soul, which is your higher self. Higher indicating the part of the self that is larger, bigger, more expansive than just the body, thoughts, and emotions.
So it's the same thing as a soul.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the soul can be in control or create many different physical bodies. Is that true?
The soul can inhabit any sort of living body. And the soul chooses its organic nature.
Is there any kind of organization where souls get together?
Yes, constantly.
They come together?
Yes, constantly.
And what do they do together? Share information?
Well, it depends on the context. Souls gather. Your two souls are gathered currently together. Souls can gather in a myriad of contexts.
I see.
And for myriads of reasons. But souls will tend to gather at the lowest common point of unity. Just like the rain, when the rain falls, it will travel along the earth and pool in the lowest place. For instance, if your yard has a low spot, the rain will accumulate there in a puddle. So souls will tend to accumulate together around their lowest common point of vibration.
So the last time I think there was a channeling, I kept my hand on top of my head, and just a little minute ago or so I put my hand on top of my head unconsciously, not on purpose. Am I doing something? Am I doing something with my crown chakra, or why do I feel to do that? Or is there no reason?
Yes, you are attempting to retain the transmission within your being.
Oh.
The transmission which is entering your crown chakra.
Oh.
As higher wisdom or knowledge. Similar to the way that you might put your hand over a cup to prevent the contents from spilling out.
Gotcha. It's kind of strange, but okay.
At the next full lunar eclipse, there will be a release of more substantial disclosure.
Good.
And it will be positive.
Good. I've been doing my meditating and praying on the world welcoming ETs and higher dimensional beings.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, and I will continue.
There are many, many people experiencing the interactions of the Pleiadians as a collective, and there are just as many experiencing Pleiadian visitations that believe us to be angels, and that is fine. We are okay with that.
Well, we were watching this program called Gaia, and there was, I think it was called Global Messages, which was
Galactic Messages.
Galactic Message, okay. But really, really interesting stuff. Very good. From what I understand, was a Pleiadian.
Yes, that is correct. When you speak with us, you are speaking, we are not necessarily speaking for all Pleiadians, just as when you speak with one American, they are not necessarily speaking for all Americans. However, in our case, we are assigned to this vessel for very specific work, and we are highly skilled specialists in what we do. And our primary assignment with her is in support of her mental and emotional state, and in expanding her work in those realms, her understanding of work with other humans in the mental emotional realm in order to elevate their enlightened state.
Do all Pleiadians pretty much believe the same thing? Or would one Pleiadian say something and another Pleiadian say something different?
Well, there can be some variations, but our race is much more unified than human races. So our answers would be perhaps a little different, but with the same motivation and altruism.
Right.
Mm-hmm.